Hey everybody, Wyoming James checking in again from the Urban Micro Farm. Well, it's day 18, and it's been a while since we've had bad news to report, but today we do. That little guy that we were so concerned about, the little guy that was just not moving around a lot yesterday morning, he was fine late yesterday afternoon. We went out, made our trip to the pasture, got back in. It was later in the evening. We went to dinner with Nick and Carrie, and we get back to this little guy right there. So he did not make it. He's kind of laying there right behind that bird in the center. He didn't make it. We had administered that electrolyte water to him, and that's really all we can do because we're an antibiotic-free farm here. We're not about pumping antibiotics and hormones and stuff into these birds, so he didn't make it. So I think that puts our total birds left at 93, if I'm not mistaken. So 93 birds left. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make the most out of this particular loss, being that we have those birds out there on the pasture. So stay with me. I'm going to go get a bucket. I'm going to collect this little bird carcass up, and we're going to try to make the best out of this that we can. So I'm going to go get a bucket. I'm going to feed these birds, move this dozer, and then we'll head out to the pasture, and you'll see what we're going to do about that. So stay tuned. Okay, so we've got some breakfast, we've got a bucket, and we've got our deceased bird here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the deceased bird here. We'll put him in the bucket. We're going to hang on to him for just a little bit, but right now we're going to give those birds some breakfast, and we'll be on our way out to the pasture. Okay, so it's day 18. We're out here on the pasture right now, and the wind's picking up out here. What I had to do is I had to hunker down next to one of the chicken tractors because it's just so windy. The wind's coming out of the east, so not normal, but it's coming out of the east. So I'm down on the west side of this chicken tractor. I'm sure you probably can hear the wind, but so what we're going to do, first things first, I'm going to move these tractors, and then once I get them moved, I'm going to lay down some feed, and then I'm going to show you how that little dead bird from the garden is hopefully going to help us out here on the pasture. So stick with me. Okay, so we've got the chicken tractors moved, and I ran around the house before we left, and I found this lid to this bucket. If I pull this lid off of here, you can see that in the bottom of this we have our bird that left us this morning. So, and if I turn this around, see that there's holes in the bottom of this. Well, what this was the watering bucket that I stole the nipples out of and replaced the whole bucket altogether. So it's got holes in it, and full disclosure here, this is not my idea. I borrowed this from somewhere, somebody else's vlog, and what we're going to do here is we're going to leave those holes in it. I'm going to put some more holes around the outside here, put this lid on here, and then we're going to hang it up inside the tractors. And what'll happen is, once the flies find that bird in there, they're going to go in there, they're going to lay eggs on that carcass, and then the eggs are going to turn into maggots. Those maggots are going to crawl off of that carcass, fall out through these holes, and feed these birds inside these tractors. The thing they didn't mention on the vlog that I watched was how horrible this bucket starts to smell. I mean, I have some experience with dead animals, and my guess is it's not going to smell too good. But if it's a free source of protein for these birds, why not? So I'm going to go ahead and fabricate this little maggot feeder bucket, and then we're going to hang it up in the one of the tractors, and then I'll just report to you guys on how it works. Again, I don't know how bad. If the smell's going to be unbearable, then I'm going to get rid of this carcass and we're going to do something else. But if it's a source of free protein for these birds, I say let's do it. So stand by and let's do it. Okay, holes drilled. Let's go hang it up in the tractor. Okay, so I've got the bucket secured. Got it secured to the ridge pole there, and I'll tell you what, I should totally be getting some revenue stream from our friends at Home Depot. So, hey, Home Depot executives, if you're watching this, hey, send me a couple bucks for using all your buckets and always letting your buckets be seen on these videos. So we could use the extra feed out here. So we're gonna let this bird do its thing. We'll let the flies show up, and we'll check on that from day to day and see how it's going. It's not going to be a bother. It's hanging up out of the way for everything that these birds are doing. So we'll just leave it alone and see where it goes. Okay, so the end of another successful day here at the Urban Micro Farm. So got all the tractors moved, got that little feeder made. Hopefully that feeder is going to start producing for us. Fingers crossed there, but we won't know until it actually does or doesn't start producing. So we're trying to make lemons out of our lemonade there, or lemonade out of our lemons, I think is what we're trying to make, really. So we got that going. One of the things that's come to my attention is that maybe we need to explain why things are the way they are out here on the Urban Micro Farm. So we're going to do that. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna try to explain some of the minutia of what we've got going here with these. Keep in mind, the reason we started doing this video blog is because there just wasn't a whole lot of information out there about what we're doing, and we wanted to not only do it, but we wanted to share what we've learned. So we're gonna fail, and hopefully we're gonna succeed, but hopefully the successes outweigh the failures, and we're able to do this again and again and again and again. So, but like I said, I guess with all the big picture stuff that's going on, we weren't explaining the details. So I'm going to start explaining some of the details on this, and hopefully it'll give everybody out there a better understanding of what we're doing. So until tomorrow, when we get into all the details, Wyoming James saying adios from the Urban Micro Farm.